Concerted efforts should be made to strengthen sub-regional and regional organizations to serve as hubs for climate action and partnership.
Support genuine efforts to save Lake Chad from extinction. President Buhari extreats world leaders as climate change conference opens in Poland.
So call on state governments to employ the use of only these standard signs, road signs and signals from the Federal Road Safety Corps.
Nigeria now fully aligned with UN conventions on standard road signs. FRS's signage plant comes on stream.
We are the electorate. I'm in the field. I'm a presidential candidate. It affects me directly. Not that maybe I'm crying down the bereaved. I'm crying for myself, for the country, and for the whole of us that is standing here.
And on the political front, as campaigns gather momentum, a forum of presidential candidates go to court to stop the president from signing the Electoral Amendment Bill into law. Welcome to Network News. I am Kenen Ima Abodike. Reading with me tonight is Elizabeth Omoriye in Lagos, while Faisy Okoye is in Enugu. President Muhammadu Buhari has restated Nigeria's commitment towards constructively supporting multilateral actions aimed at addressing climate change so that a healthy environment can be restored for future generations. Addressing world leaders at the United Nations Conference on Climate Change in Krakow, Poland, the president, however, reiterated his call on the international community to support genuine efforts at saving Lake Chad from extinction and guaranteeing future security of the region. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the conference has as its theme, Changing Together.
The United Nations Climate Summit here in Katowice, Poland is seen by many as the most important climate negotiation since 2015, when a vision for a zero-carbon future was created through the adoption of the landmark Paris Agreement. World leaders, scientists and other stakeholders are therefore here to agree on the rules for putting this vision into reality, as well as setting stronger climate action in motion. President Muhammadu Buhari told participants that with the enormous challenges of climate change, which are evident to all, no country can confront the phenomena alone.
Nigeria believes in joint and cooperative efforts to tackle the problem. We urge that efforts to address the challenges of climate change be pursued within multilateral frameworks. Concerted efforts should be made to strengthen sub-regional and regional organizations to serve as action and partnership.
Nigeria, he said, has already commenced the implementation of its nationally determined contribution aimed at achieving 20% emission reduction, and also embraced the issuance of green bond as an innovative and alternative source of funding projects that will provide climate infrastructure.
We believe there should be clearly defined parameters for monitoring financial flows from developed countries to developing economies for climate change action. This should be underpinned by transparency and predictability. Similarly, we stress that a reliable mechanism must be created to augment sector contributions with funds from the private sector of countries whose economies are adding significant levels of greenhouse gases to the global atmosphere.
On the receding Lake Chad, the president told the conference that interbasin water transfer from Congo Basin remains the most sustainable option for resuscitation and safeguard.
I once again call on the international community to support this worthy project for the benefit of over 40 million people that depend on the Lake Chad for their livelihood and to guarantee future security of the region.
And during the opening of the conference, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres was emphatic that the global community is in deep trouble with climate change, which he said is now a matter of life and death.
I'm convening a climate summit for September next year to raise ambition and to mobilize the necessary resources. But that ambition needs to begin here, right now, in Katowice, driven by governments and leaders who understand that their legacies and the well-being of future generations are at stake. We cannot afford to fail in Katowice.
Our new targets for the following 5 years are for the World Bank Group to finance $200 billion to help countries undertake ambitious climate action.
Possible takeaways for Nigeria from this conference?
Well, to sensitize the international community, particularly on the issue of the Lake Chad, the recharge in the interbasin transfer is key to the plank of our argument as a Nigerian government. And I believe we are getting more and more people to understand the situation.
Key highlight of the opening ceremony was a declaration on solidarity and just transition as a critical pathway towards achieving global climate policy objectives. From Katowice, Poland, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The National Economic Council will hold an extended meeting on the 14th of this month. The meeting will be the last for the year, and it is expected to discuss the performance of the economy in the outgoing year. Chairman of Governors Forum and Governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Abubakar Yari, made this known to the media after the meeting with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. The governor also reacted to the deposition of a monarch suspected to be aiding bandits in the state and what the government is doing to strengthen security.
Trying to, anyone that we found went in this, definitely he must face the punishment. And we are trying to use all the items that we had to ensure that we fish out those that are within us, within the traditional rules and outside. That we're within. That's why we hired the intelligence, we hired the civilian JTF, and all of them. So that they can help us on giving us the detail. Because, for instance, in Zamfara we have about 2,600 men and women that are working against these bandits. But still, it's not enough.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says traditional rulers should continue to sustain peace advocacy among the people for the development of the country. Joshua Ojito reports that the Vice President stated this during a courtesy visit on the Emir of Kefi, Shehu Chindo Yamusa III.
Acknowledging the role of traditional rulers as custodians of people's culture and tradition, the Vice President says they should complement government peace-building process by engaging their subjects in robust dialogue on the need to live in peace. The Vice President emphasizes that the advisory role of traditional rulers is needed most as government sustains its effort in fixing critical infrastructure in the country.
But I believe that the traditional rulership in our country have earned their place as arbiters in so many different ways, in security, in justice at the local level, and even politically, they have proved that they are, very important in the scheme of things. So I think it's an issue that we ought to deliberate more upon. I believe that for the peace and security of our country, for the progress of our country, the respect for traditional institutions must continue. Regard for traditional institutions must continue.
Professor Osinbajo assures Nigerians that the Buhari administration is committed to improving lives of the people through various social investment programs, fixing the economy and sustain the fight against corruption in order to redeem the nation's image. Emir of Kefi, Shehu Chindo Yamusa III, acknowledges the giant strides recorded so far by the present administration in the last 3.5 years. He, however, advocates the need for a constitutional role for traditional rulers to enable them discharge their duties effectively.
Although it was not made by this government, but this government can amend it because you are always available for correction. APC is known with correcting all mistakes and anomalies. We need the government to look at this matter.
The Vice President is in Kefi for the grand finale of President Muhammadu Buhari Polo Tournament. In Kefi, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Nigeria is now fully aligned with United Nations Conventions on Standard Road Signs and Signals. with the inauguration of the FRSA signage plant in Gwagwalada, Abuja, by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Bose Mustafa. The FRSC has also kick-started mass production of road traffic signs infrastructure. Emmanuel Ayimiro tells us more.
Road traffic signs are major components of road network that enhance communication between roads and the users. They provide warnings against impending dangers, guide and give information on how to use the road safely. However, over the years, all manners of improper road signs or signals, scanty or total lack of it, vandalism, even foreign mix, shades and colors have characterized the nation's highway, causing confusion to motorists. That is what the federal government is determined to correct.
So call on state governments to employ the use of only these standard signs, road signs and signals from the Federal Road Safety Corps. It is also important to enlighten Nigerians that private installation of road signs and signals require notification and approval of the appropriate government agencies.
The plant has been able to produce 6,000 various road signs which are already installed on some segments of the federal highways, with testimonies of their quality and effectiveness by motorists.
The FCT Minister, Mohammed Bello, shortly after the event, hit the ground running, putting effect to the proper use of roads signage. At various points along the airport road, he stopped to control the traffic and educate motorists on the need to imbibe proper road traffic culture. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Now, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has assured the world that the present administration in Nigeria is leveraging on the diverse cultures in Nigeria to foster peace and harmony while creating the enabling environment for culture and tourism to thrive. That formed part of the minister's submission during the ministerial segment of the 3rd UNWTO UNESCO conference in Istanbul, Turkey. Anthony Forsen reports.
The ministerial segment, which brought on stage ministers of culture and tourism, is designed to enable them share good practices and examples on how government policies can be aligned to accelerate the shift towards sustainable development and how countries around the world are supporting public-private partnership to strengthen collaboration between tourism, culture, and the community. As diverse as the assemblage of ministers, so were their submissions, with Nigeria leading the way.
Government, through its different agencies at local government, state and federal level, encourages the promotion and the practice of the cultures of the people. Cultural diversity has also helped in unifying the country, because the more you understand the differences, between the different groups, the more you respect their differences and the more you work together.
Others put their experiences this way.
It's a difficult question when it comes to thinking of preservation as well as protection of culture. But whatever that we do, we have to make an effort to find and strike a balance.
The power of a country does not rely on its army or on its economy, but rather in its ability to preserve, protect its past, use it as an inspiration for national development.
We need to maximize the positive impact and then to minimize the negative one of the partnership between culture and tourism.
And One Love is the millennial song, and One Love album is also the millennial album.
The consensus is that culture and tourism ministers should evolve actions that will bring about a healthy balance in the drive towards having an industry with a global ambience without altering the people's heritage. In Istanbul, Turkey, Anthony Forsen, NTA News.
Time to pause for some messages. The news continues after this timeout.
Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, is glad to announce and welcome invited participants to the 21st quarterly meeting of UBEC Management and Executive Chairman of States and FCT Universal Basic Education Boards, holding as follows. Arrival, Monday 3rd December 2018. Meeting date, Tuesday 4th to Wednesday 5th December 2018. Venue, Ibom Hall, IBB Way, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Time 9 a.m. prompt daily. Departure, Thursday 6th December 2018. This 21st edition of the UBEC Subeb Quarterly Meeting has as its theme consolidating basic education through effective strategic planning, resuscitation of agriculture, and quality assurance, and will be declared open by the Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Adamu Adamu. Education for all is the responsibility of all. Dr. Hamid Boboyi, Executive Secretary, UBEC. Announcer.
Hey, can you feel it? Glow is in the air. It's data. It's what you use every time you download music. Data. It's what streams movies. Data. It's what the banks use to check your account. Data. It's the very lifeblood of modern living. Data. And where does it all come from? Well, according to industry sources, more and more of it came from here. They acknowledge that Glow is now the largest data network in Nigeria. With your own Glow One submarine cable linked seamlessly to tens of thousands of kilometers with your own fiber optic cable. Glow can provide huge data capacity anywhere at a more flexible and affordable price than anyone. It's simple. So you see, Glow is in the air. It's everywhere.
Data is oxygen. Get 125% bonus on all data plans. Also enjoy unconditional 25% data bonus non-stop on all auto renewals. Dial *777# to choose a plan.
As the number of people wey people dey born dey reduce, now so the money wey them they get to spend they increase. Enough proof don't dey to show say countries where them families they born, the number of people where they fit take care of, they stress to take care of the children no they plenty at all for the family. If families fit they enjoy this kind benefit of expenses we know they too much, you fit imagine how it go fit help boost country economy like Nigeria own. As leader where you be, the solution dey your hand, and what you need to do now to take action now. All we lawmakers and everybody where they power and government must make sure say them put enough money down. We go make sure say childbirth spacing where plenty people sabi as family planning services full everywhere. Our pastors, imam, and traditional leaders suppose open mouth tell them people about the better thing where child spacing they do. This work, now our handy day, we get the full responsibility to do them. We must join hand and get it together, make our future for bright. Now Federal Ministry of Health, they bring you this message.
Hello. Hi, Jenny. Can you supply 1,000 bottles of juice by noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, bye.
Hello.
One day, I go any store and say I want everything.
Jenny, auntie, please, I need a loan.
One day, anything I want,
hurry up.
Get it times 2. Someday, I'll be living.
Hello.
Clean that up. Because I don't get the money, you downgrade me.
Your order is on the way.
Are you an entrepreneur looking for financing to grow a business? I have good news for you. Development Bank of Nigeria now provides sustainable financing through commercial banks, microfinance banks, and other financial institutions with repayment terms of up to 10 years. Please do remember, paying back your loan in good time will give you access to more loans.
Development Bank of Nigeria. Financing sustainable.
The Senate Committee on Police Affairs hereby invites submissions and memoranda from stakeholders and the general public at a public hearing on a bill for an act to repeal the Police Act, Cap P19, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004, and enact the Nigeria Police Act, 2018. The hearing is scheduled as follows. Date, Wednesday, 5th December, 2018. Time, 1 p.m. prompt. Venue, Conference Hall 231, New Senate Building, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Special guest of honor, His Excellency, Senator Dr. Bukola Saraki, CON, President of the Senate. All memoranda should be submitted in 25 hard copies and a soft copy to the Committee Secretariat in room 3.5, 3rd floor, White House, National Assembly Complex, Abuja, on or before Tuesday, 4th December, 2018. For inquiries, contact the Committee Secretariat on 0805-348-4080. Signed, Senator Tijani Kaura, Committee Chairman. Supported by Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, PLAG.
Everybody dance now. We are the
strongness. Malta Guinness is packed with B vitamins to fuel your greatness on the go. Want to make every meal with your loved ones special? Then give them Golden Penny Pasta, made from durum. Contains fiber, rich in protein, light and non-sticky. Golden Penny Pasta, irresistibly delicious.
The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, cordially invites commissioners for information across the 36 states of the Federation, heads of public information organs, information managers, and other delegates to the 47th National Council on Information with the theme Tackling Fake News and Hate Speech to Enhance Peace and National Unity. Date 11th to 13th December 2018. Arrival and registration of delegates starts by 10 a.m. on Monday, 10th December 2018. Venue, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua Hall, Murtala Mohammed Square, Kaduna. Special guest of honor, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, Executive Governor of Kaduna State. Deaconess Grace Isugekbe, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Announcer.
Welcome back as we now go to politics, where the PDP has flagged off its campaign for the 2019 general elections. Dalhatu Abdullahi reports that the Northwest Zonal presidential campaign was held in Sokoto.
On arrival at the Sultan Abubakar International Airport, Sokoto, the National Campaign Council and the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, were received by the Sokoto State Governor, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. Crowd of PDP supporters from the 7 states of the Northwest Zone gathered at the venue of the rally in the central city of Sokoto. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan described PDP as the #1 party in Nigeria and asked people to massively vote for Atiku Abubakar. Part of the concerns of the presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar are the future of Nigerian youths and the feelings of all Nigerians at his heart. The crowd that gathered at Sokoto for the flag off demonstrates the readiness of the people to vote and make PDP victorious at the polls, as Atiku Abubakar promised to work hard to make Nigeria a better country for all. Speakers at the rally advocated for free, fair, and credible election.
It will turn around the economy, and that will change.
That PDP will sweep the polls not only in Sokoto, but all over Nigeria.
Flags were presented to gubernatorial candidates of the party in the Northwest Zone. Highlights include a visit to the tomb of Islamic scholar Sheikh Osman bin Fodio and the commissioning of PDP Presidential Campaign Office in Sokoto. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun has reaffirmed his total support and commitment for the re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari. The governor stated this while addressing APC supporters in Abeokuta. Leko Abonde reports.
The Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun, who addressed party faithful in Abeokuta, noted his resolve to work tirelessly to ensure that President Muhammadu Buhari succeeds in the forthcoming presidential election. The governor enjoined party supporters to go out en masse and join the campaign to give the president the desired victory at the polls in view of the landmark achievement of his administration.
I will be running around now campaigning for our president. If you look there, you will see the buses for Mr. President. So we will use it for him, to campaign for him. Every day we will be campaigning for Mr. President.
We however noted that he had full support for the gubernatorial ambitions of Honorable Abdulkabir Adekunle Akinlade, who had defected to the Allied People's Movement. Earlier, the aggrieved 26 candidates of the APC in the October 7th State Assembly primary had announced their defection to the Allied People's Movement, noting the national headquarters of the party's denial of their mandate as the reason. In Abeokuta, Leko Agbonde, NTA News.
The Forum of Presidential Candidates has approached an Abuja Federal High Court to abort intended assent by President Buhari to the Electoral Amendment Bill into law. Chairman of the Forum, Shitu Kabir Mohammed, stated this after filing the suit at the Federal High Court, Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Chairman of the forum and APDA presidential candidate Shitu Kabir Mohammed had earlier raised alarm on what he described as deliberate hurdles capable of derailing the 2019 general elections at an interactive session of political parties' leaders and their presidential candidates with the General Abdul Salami Abubakar-led National Peace Committee. This Monday, he led some presidential candidates to the Federal High Court to file a suit on the premise that the new bill, if assented to, may derail the electoral calendar, as INEC will be forced to adjust its program to accommodate personnel, budget and other logistics as provided for by the Amendment Act.
We are the electorate. I'm in the field. I'm a presidential candidate. It affects me directly. Not that maybe I'm crying down the belief. I'm crying for myself, for the country, and for the whole of us that is standing here. We have to cry out because we don't know their motive.
To truncate the 2019 general election, there is no way that a new bill that is seeking that we should kickstart electronic voting will be good for the election that is less than 3 months.
The forum also faulted the provision of sections 84 to 87, which they said is capable of weakening the powers of political parties' executives on party primaries and choice of candidates. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
Now, persons with disability have commended the governing All Progressives Congress APC for passing into law the bill that seeks to end discrimination against them. At a solidarity rally in support of President Muhammadu Buhari's second term bid, the group expressed confidence in the APC-led government and promised to mobilize support for the party's return in 2019. Political correspondent Salihu Abdullahi reports.
Recently, the National Population Commission of Nigeria has estimated that 19 million persons are living with disabilities in Nigeria. Of this number, more than 140,000 are duly recognized by the governing All Progressives Congress with various leadership positions across the country. In their numbers, persons with disability took to some major streets within Abuja in appreciation of the Buhari administration, which they say is implementing policies that bridge social inequality gap through its social intervention programs that target the vulnerable ones, especially those with disability.
Mr. President has been a record that is only president that appointed 2 special assistant, 1 senior special assistant on person with disability and another one special assistant on person with disability. And I think this is great achievement by this government.
National chairman of APC represented at the event assured Nigerians that the party remains resolute in producing leaders with vision who will broaden the scope of governance in the interest of the people.
Our party is a mass-oriented party. It's meant for the poor, the downtrodden, the majority of Nigerians.
In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
In a related development, the federal government has restated commitment to break down barriers against persons living with disabilities. This is coming as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark the 2018 International Day of Persons with Disabilities. The day was commemorated at the instance of the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. Momso Damian Dati reports.
Diverse physical disabilities, different challenges the persons living with them have to face every single day of their lives. Only the willpower to survive and overcome keep them going. And so from across the FCT came the physically challenged to be part of the Day for Persons with Disability, organized by the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development.
Instead of us spending 30 minutes, we end spending 1 hour plus before we can able to board a vehicle going to office.
Most times, you will type blank sheets unknown to you.
I may ask a car going to, maybe I'm going to say, and the person is saying do say, and I'll end up entering the wrong car because I cannot hear them.
It is such challenges that the ministry and relevant stakeholders have to address in choosing the theme, Disability, Breaking Down the Barriers.
We deliberately identified issues around barriers as we note that this remains a major concern for us in general, and especially for our teeming population of persons with disabilities.
It is a day to remember, with donations of assistive devices from good-spirited organizations. Momso Damien Ate, NTA News.
The Department of State Services has unveiled the identity of a suspect alleged to have had unauthorized access to the Aso Rock presidential villa and using the office of the First Lady to engage in fraudulent act. Again, Momso Damien Ate was at the DSS National Headquarters, Abuja, and now reports.
It was an unusual parade of suspects. Amina Mohammed, alleged to have gained unauthorized access to the Aso Rock presidential villa and using the office of the wife of the president to carry out fraudulent acts, one of which is defrauding unsuspecting members of the public, an allegation Amina vehemently protested.
For emphasis, we say that her unholy enterprise is not to the knowledge of.
But the DSS is resolute that Amina, also known as Justina Oloha, or Amina Villa's dramatic protest, is only a way to cover up her crime.
Amina, whose phone number is registered with the name Amina Villa, had on the said date invited one Dr. Alexander Chico Kafo, also known as Chikason, into the villa, wherein she made him believe the invitation was there at the instance of the First Lady. Investigation has shown that this unholy enterprise is not to the knowledge of the First Lady.
I cannot be allowed to be put to shame to the whole world. I cannot be allowed.
It's okay, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
The disruption led to an abrupt end of the session, leaving so many questions unanswered. In Abuja, Momso Damien Ate, NTA News.
The Minister of Defense, Mansur Mohammed Dan Ali, has directed the Chief of Army Staff to remain in the Northeast and the General Officer commanding 8th Division, Nigerian Army, to relocate his tactical headquarters from Sokoto to Gusau, Zamfara State, to oversee the conduct of Operation Sharandaji. A statement by the Public Relations Officer to the Ministry of Defense, Colonel Tukur Gusau, indicates that the Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Army Staff were also mandated to effect changes in the operational commands of Operations Delta Staff in the Niger Delta, Lafia Dole in the Northeast, Sharandaji in Zamfara and Katsina States, and Awatse in the Southwest. This is to enable them meet up with the current threats and security challenges in their areas of responsibility. President Muhammadu Buhari has also directed the emergency procurement of critical equipment for the armed forces of Nigeria, in line with the federal government policy of procuring equipment manufacturers through government-to-government basis. The council and board also considered and approved the promotion of qualified senior military officers to their next higher ranks. President Buhari also directed enhancement of welfare of troops who are currently serving in operational areas and their families. More news from our Lagos Network Center with Elizabeth as our guide.
Hello, Kenai. It's nice to have you join us in Lagos. The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has adjourned judgment in a motion seeking final forfeiture of 2.2 billion naira recovered from a former Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Adeola Amosu. Viera Chumba, who was at the court, reports that the court also fixed 19th of December for continuation of trial in the case of former Acting Director General of NEMASA.
The court had issued an interim order of forfeiture on the 2.2 billion naira recovered from the former Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Adeola Amosu. This followed an ex parte motion filed by the EFCC. The commission had argued that the sums were reasonably suspected to be proceeds of unlawful activities. Justice Mojisola Olatoregu had also, in addition, issued an interim forfeiture of 190 million naira recovered from the former Air Force Director of Finance and Budget, Air Commodore Olugbenga Gbadebo, and 101 million naira recovered from Solomon Enterprises, a company linked to Amusan. Judgment on the final forfeiture could not be delivered today because the judge was attending a seminar. Amusa and the company Solomon Enterprises are the respondents. The case of former Acting Director General of NIMASA, Haruna Jauro, standing trial over alleged 304 million naira charge preferred against him by the EFCC was not heard because the court did not sit. Trial continues on the 19th of December. In Lagos, Viera Chimuba, NTA News.
The Western Naval Command of the Nigerian Navy has concluded its 2018 sea exercise aimed at ensuring combat proficiency for officers and ratings under its area of responsibility. Dotun Ogunyemi reports that 8 vessels and 2 helicopters took part in the exercise.
This is the NNS Unity, one of the vessels that took part in the exercise. And for 2 days, this ship served as a training ground for several simulations. Flag Officer Commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Abilan Galabak, reveals that the strong presence and activities of the Nigerian Navy have deterred pirates from operating on Nigerian waters in the last 3 months.
Exercise component is therefore being conducted pursuant to the objective and furtherance of the Nigerian Naval Staff mission, which is, I quote, to develop a naval force that is well-trained, organized, and highly motivated to discharge its constitutional roles.
Sea exercises ranging from gunnery to fleet maneuvering, tracking, medical evacuation, as well as search and rescue were simulated. Now, this simulation shows Nigerian Navy officers coming on board an hijacked merchant ship. Now, earlier when the ship was hijacked, the last communication signals were sent out by the ship's crew, which then informed the Nigerian Navy Information Center to send out helicopters to find out the exact location of the ship. From the Nigerian Navy ship Unity, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this time out. Stay with us.
Hospital all night. Emergency.
We are losing her.
Don't worry, I'll save her. Driver!
What is wrong with you?
Building burned down.
What?
It was life or death.
He sent body.
I've got the dog! Hey, Mr. Man, wake up! Yeah! My resignation letter, sir.
Glow Augustin, the unrivaled big boss of data. Get 125% bonus on all data plans. Also enjoy unconditional 25% data bonus non-stop on all auto renewals. Dial *777# to choose a plan.
Greetings from FCMB, my bank and I.
Expressions without words won't happen any other way. Moments will feel joy. Been lost in the moment, the freedom. You will find that's what's celebrating. Bring your moment to life. Find your satisfaction in the nourishing trend and sparkling. That's how. Celebrate a little ways, making big differences in the nourishing trend and sparkling. That's how.
Enjoy in red grape, white grape, peach variants, Valletta sparkling fruit drink. Celebrate every moment.
Thank you very much.
Oga from what don't I bet some me want malaria medicine for dear.
You don't run malaria test, so?
Of course not. I want that one when I be they buy before chloroquine.
No more before malaria medicine for here. Oh. Now confirm malaria medicine. We be artemisinin-based combination therapy (ACT) where they kill malaria pata na here the same.
ACT. Like to the art thing.
No, ACT. The one where they ask for the malaria, where they live for inside our body, like person when they pay rent, come kill them. Finish at one time.
Me one now.
You don't go.
Yes, so if you get symptoms like fever, always test and confirm. Say you get malaria. Go ask for ACT, artemisinin-based combination therapy from your pharmacy. Now, Government of Nigeria and Rollback Malaria Partners bring you now this message. For a malaria-free Nigeria, play your part.
Nigeria we hail. Those who divide our people are getting better at their game. But our daily struggle to make ends meet unites us. We are united in being deceived by those we have trusted with our resources. Yet, now we did do ourselves pass. Lecturer the oppressed student them. Mr. Bank Manager no go support our common man business. Local government people are terrifying local government people. Campaign people will come and go. Grammar people will remain. So now, many people have become Uncle Thomases, unwilling to desire, believe, or work for a better nation. What will be left for our children if we all continue to carry this Uncle Thomas mindset? We must continue to push and believe, and small, that our prayers will be answered. This education you go get down. That house, now you go build down. And this business, it not go spoil for your hand, because Union Bank understands what it means to push through challenges, and together we will clear every doubt when they are our way. Don't be an Uncle Thomas. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Activate your life, be who you want to be. Yeah. Time to get active. Yes, the time is now.
Start an active life with the power of vegetables and fruits. Chivita Active. Be active. Do more.
The women wing of the All Progressives Congress is strategizing not only to secure the support of incumbent party loyalists, but also new members to ensure the victory of the party at all levels in the 2019 general elections. This was made known at a pre-campaign dialogue for APC women leaders at the instance of the Office of the National Women Leader of the APC in collaboration with the wife of the President. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports.
The convergence of the women leadership of the All Progressive Congress, APC, from across the country is a significant milestone in their quest to mobilize support of Nigerian electorate, especially at the grassroots, to ensure victory of the party in the forthcoming general elections. The opening of the two-day event, which was attended by the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, set the tune for 2019 campaign strategy of the women wing of the All Progressive Congress. The wife of the Vice President, Dolapo Osinbajo, underscores the importance of the unity and determination for massive victory,
thus producing an achievable roadmap for the 2019 elections and beyond. This speaks directly to the theme of this event, women mobilizing together to sustain the change agenda. Our importance in the upcoming elections cannot be underestimated. How we comport, unite, and organize ourselves and activities in the upcoming elections will greatly determine our success.
These women comprise the women leaders of the party from both the national, zonal, state and local governments, and their target is to brainstorm on the possible ways of sustaining the victory of the All Progressive Congress, taking into account the massive development of infrastructure and the remarkable improvement in the security of lives and property, as well as human and capital development put in place by President Buhari's administration.
The agenda for this event is clear: to galvanize a consolidated front in support of our dear President Muhammadu Buhari and all APC candidates in the forthcoming elections. The first highlight of this event is to strategize the game plan for the upcoming election rallies in all the 6 geopolitical zones.
We take around the country, from the hills of the country to the creeks and everywhere. That is the only way we can multiply our food.
They said they are fully prepared to take the campaign to the grassroots in preparation to move to the next level.
I am going higher, higher, higher.
Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Do bear with us for some shaky visual portions in that report. Now, Securities and Exchange Commission launches issuance rules as Qatar part ways with Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, plus update on the capital market. Let's now join Musa Abubakar for more details on business news. Hello, Musa.
Thank you, Kenna. Welcome to Business News. Capital markets. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has officially launched the Green Bonds Issuance Rules. The launch of the rules will provide much-needed guidance on the issuance of green bonds in Nigeria, as well as complement efforts of government, regulators, and financial services industry to direct financial capital. SEC rolled out its rules on green bonds on October 12, 2018, following a series of engagement with stakeholders and capital market operators. Meanwhile, the Nigerian stock market ended Monday's trading session on a negative note. The all-share index declined 0.24% to close 30,798.78 basis points, with market capitalization at 11.2 trillion naira. 249.7 million shares worth 2.7 billion naira were traded in 3,122 deals. Qatar is quitting the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, from January 2019. Saad Al-Kabi, the country's energy minister, at a news conference in Doha, said that the decision to withdraw from OPEC came after Qatar reviewed ways to enhance its role internationally and planned its long-term strategy. The announcement comes ahead of the meeting by OPEC and its allies, including Russia, on December 6 to 7 to discuss cotton supply. Qatar is one of OPEC's smallest producers, but the world's largest liquefied natural gas exporter. Well, that concludes Business Express at Business News. Over to you, Kenny.
It's all the same. Thanks. Global Process and Pipeline Services Limited has inaugurated its new operational head office in Port Harcourt, promising enhanced operational efficiency that will boost economic activities in the oil and gas sector. Diakume Ulolo completes the report.
Process and Pipeline Services Limited was established in 2002 but began full operation in 2011. Over the years, the company has offered specialized services in exploration, production, and pipelines in the oil and gas industry. Managing Director, Global Process and Pipeline Services Limited, Engineer Obi Uzu, said the company has built capacity of its workforce with an impressive record of accomplishment without compromising industry standards.
What we are doing today is to show our capacity and our capability so that the government will recognize that we have built the capacity to do pre-commissioning and pipeline cleaning. That way we will employ more Nigerians.
The services include pipeline and facility flushing, integrity hydro testing, pipeline dewatering and drying commissioning, and nitrogen services. Inaugurating the head office and operational base, Executive Secretary, Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board, Engineer Simbi Waboti, said the new edifice will enhance the operations of GPPS.
Global Process and Pipeline Services Limited continue to contribute significantly to the growth of the Nigerian oil and gas sector, while constantly exceeding her clients' expectation without compromising on safety, reliability, and integrity in all operations.
We are talking of Nigerian content. We are also talking about employment of youth. This company has laid that foundation from its inception.
Highlight of the inauguration was facility tour by industry players and other high-caliber guests at the occasion. The new office complex and operating base will further enhance the operational efficiency for a superior service quality delivery in line with the higher industry standards and best practices in Port Harcourt. Yanukume Ulolo, NTA News.
It's time to get more news from our Enugu Network Center as we join Facey Okoye.
You Kene and welcome to Enugu Network Center. The National Reconciliation Committee of the APC has brought Enugu State. The committee, led by its chairman and the governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, was received on the state by the party faithful. Beauty Ehobamie has details.
It was a reconciliation meeting where all members were expected to express their grievances. Chairman of the National Reconciliatory Committee told party faithful that what should be paramount in the agenda is the bigger picture of ensuring victory for the party come 2019. He therefore expressed the need for all of them to show understanding in order to accomplish their objective.
We are all members of one family. Members of a family, there is bound to be disagreement. But at the end of it, in the interest of the family, you have to swallow some bitter pills.
Some members of the party who contributed at the deliberation expressed their disappointment with the conduct of the party primaries at various levels and suggested that the way forward is to be refunded money they spent during the exercise. Meanwhile, Mr. Okeogbodo has urged members of the Reconciliatory Committee to be fair and objective in its approach to handling the conflict within the party. Other party leaders from the state who were in attendance included the APC governorship candidate in Enugu, Ayogu Eze, APC National Vice Chairman Southeast, Ima Enuku, and Enugu State APC Chairman Ben Uwoye. The committee had earlier visited other states in the Southeast. In Enugu, Beauty Robame.
That's our contribution from Enugu. The news continues in Abuja after this timeout.
To anyone who ever pushed me to go further.
One more.
To anyone who ever gave me a hand up. To anyone who ever taught me anything I ever learned. To those who work together to set the bar higher. To those who give me the energy to go further. This is my team, and my team makes me.
Happy posthumous 78th birthday to our dear beloved son, brother, father, grandfather and friend, late Major General Mamman Vasa, OFR, former Minister of the FCT. Baba, of those in front of us right now, your picture in our hearts will remain beautiful and pristine forever. Thank you for the many lessons that you taught us about life. Though gone, your footprints in literary, community development, unity, and love for your people and the weak remains undeleted.
We missed him so greatly, and we pray the legacies he left behind shall not tarnish. And may Allah grant him eternal peace.
May Allah's rahmah continue to abide with you. Ameen. Forever remembered by Aliyu Yunus Avaza for the family.
You in the air-conditioned office with the itchy throat. Strepsils. Girl in the spotlight with the raspy throat. Strepsils. You in the pollution. It's you. Dry throat. Strepsils. Hello in the downpour with the scratchy throat. Take Strepsils. Strepsils, with its soothing medicinal ingredients, will heal the harm done to your throat from external factors. Strepsils. Strepsils. Strepsils, for a dry, itchy, raspy, scratchy throat.
How far now?
My guy, there's one fashion show I'm organizing. You want show?
For sure. Where to? Cheap white photographer.
To be all fashion short. Not sure if that's your thing.
See question. You know I love fashion.
And it's on the beach at night.
I love the dark. I hardly even turn on the light at night.
Also, one of the designers wants to incorporate a lion.
Yeah. Smart thing. I love animals.
You for your hustle by Google.
Dignitaries from across Nigeria and beyond converged on Uromi in Edo State to bid farewell to late elder statesman Chief Anthony Anene. Calvin Ebuaye reports that the funeral mass was held at St. Anthony's Cathedral, Uromi.
The funeral mass in honor of the late Chief Anthony Anene was a convergence of political and business bigwigs. Former Nigerian leader Goodluck Jonathan, several serving and former governors from the South, as well as ministers and legislators, were in attendance. The Bishop of Uromi, Most Reverend Donatus Ogun, eulogized Chief Tony Anene, explaining that his life was one of benevolence and peace building. His remains were later moved to his residence, where officers of the Nigerian police paid tribute to the late Chief Anthony Anene, one of their own, and himself a former commissioner of police. His body was earlier in Benin, a town where he spent a considerable part of his social, political and business life.
He attended several training programs within and outside the country, where he distinguished himself as a committed officer of the law.
The leader was truly a great man who touched many lives.
Some of us believe that people like Chief Tony Anene happen once in a lifetime.
The most prominent is the man's humanitarian spirit, and who tries to help anybody who is in need.
He was very honest in dealing with everybody. He was a very fair leader.
He was a loving father, a family man, and a very upright gentleman.
Chief Anthony Anene, popularly called leader, held the traditional title of Iyasele of Esan Land.
And that's NTA Network News tonight. Thank you for watching. My name is Kenan Ima Abodike. Good night.